Back to another video, and today we are going to take a look at the NASDAQ 100 as well as the US30 and the S&P 500 to basically give you guys an update of what you can expect for the rest of the week and how to trade the market going forward there as well. Now, if you're new to the channel, a sub would be appreciated as I provide valuable educational content on a daily basis, and if you enjoy the video, a thumbs up would be appreciated as it would really help the channel in the long term as well. Now, yesterday I've done a breakdown on the dollar index for you guys, and hopefully most of you were able to get in there. As we can see over here, so I'm just gonna go through this breakdowns that I did yesterday. So the market was trading in that level. I explained to you guys, you know that you can get that break below that. The market has started to melt to the downside. So if you were in the trade after I've done the analysis, you should have probably hit that take profit at that level. Euro USD also, as you can see, Euro USD melted exactly like I said it would, and from there you can possibly look for that long-term buy. GBP USD, same thing, happened exactly like I said, starting that move to the downside. USD CHF, exactly like I said. AUD USD, also exactly like I said, we've got that pullback over there as well. But we are going to take a look at the NASDAQ 100. Firstly, before we get started, here's a quick article from CNBC. Stock futures are a little changed as investors brace for earnings report. So we know that again, we've got a lot of earnings companies earnings coming through. Netflix came through yesterday, lost over 1 million subscribers, but the funny thing is they said it's better than what they anticipated of a 2 million loss there as well. It says here US stock futures were little changed on Wednesday as traders continued review corporate reports in a busy earnings session. The Dow Jones is down 0.05%. We got the S&P is 0.3, and then the NASDAQ is 0.2%. It says investors are bracing for choppy earnings seasons even after coming off a soft rally in the previous session as they search for more clues into the state of the economy. Now, I'm not sure what they're searching for, but they know exactly what it is that they are doing. The funny thing about the market is that the market has been trading sideways for the lateral part of the day, yet the news comes out and says the Dow Jones is up today, and then tomorrow the Dow Jones is down, and then they said the Dow Jones is up, but today the NASDAQ is also not the best out there as well. Now, if we start on the monthly time frame, now if you remember, I spoke about the NASDAQ at that level on Saturday, and I explained all of the reasons for that move to the upside. So we have this massive impulse, and after an impulse you obviously expect a correction, and also we have this massive we've got this previous level of resistance here that the market had broken above. Now once the resistance gets broken, it then becomes support, and we can see the support did not hold there. The market broke below support. All of that supports once again turned the resistance. Definitely a the rejection expected from this level before any continuation to the upside, if there is any. We also have this massive impulse. After an impulse you expect a correction, and if you take your Fibonacci from the high to the low of this massive impulse, you can see that we do have a 0.38 pullback that the market had not pulled back to, again giving us a confirmation that in the short term we can expect the NASDAQ to slightly increase in value before that continuation to the downside there as well. Now from a weekly perspective, what do we see? Now here on the weekly time frame, we currently have this weekly candle that is still opening, trading at this level of resistance. But if you look left, you also see the market is currently testing this very strong structural area in the market over here. This level of here acted as resistance, support. Market broke below that support. All of that supports now turned resistance. The market's also trading at this weekly consolidation phase that we see over here, and it's important to also wait to see whether the market's going to close below or above that before we could potentially see a further rally to the upside before Powell comes out next weekend, raise interest rates by 0.75%. Now we can see on the daily time frame we have this massive impulse. After an impulse you always expect a correction to at least the 0.382. Now the market just started that correction. We also have the strong level of resistance that the market had broken above, and once resistance gets broken it then returns support. And if you take your Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse, you can see how the 0.382 is lining up perfectly with this structure. Now we can definitely expect the market to continue lower from exactly where it is now to go and test that previous level of resistance that is now acting as support. I guess the most important thing for us to see is where the weekly candle is going to close from where the market is. Then alternatively we could potentially see the market continue higher, but if not, then the market is going to break below this level pullback and then continue that move to the downside, as we are expecting the Federal Reserve to hike interest rates by 0.75 basis points next week. That's going to negatively impact the stock market in the long term there as well. Next up, we do have the Dow Jones, and on the monthly time frame, again, the Dow Jones had broken above resistance, tested at a support. Market printed a massive impulse. After an impulse, you expect a correction, and again, the best way to measure this correction is by taking your Fibonacci from the high to the low. The Dow Jones had a 0.382 pullback, meaning that the market is ready for that continuation to the downside here as well. Now, from a weekly perspective, what do we see? Now, here on the weekly time frame, we got similar price action that the market had created over here as well, and this would potentially give us a 0.382 pullback, potentially a 61. So yeah, the 61.8 pullback there. Again, a further confirmation. And we do have this weak candle over here that the market is currently testing, which is acting as a current level of resistance. Now, on the daily time frame, what do we have? Now, from a daily perspective, we can see we have similar price action to the Nasdaq. However, we do have this W formation. After a W formation, you normally expect a pullback to the neckline before that continuation to the upside, giving us the confirmation that we can expect the Dow Jones to pull back slightly, and that could potentially be a 61.8 pullback there as well. Exactly. So the best way to approach the situation, obviously, it says we're expecting a deeper retracement on the Dow Jones, and then from there, again, I'm not going to go all the way out there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say that we are going lower first, and then from there, once we get here, which is probably on Friday or even next week, we then start monitoring price action once again based on the technical and fundamental data that's being released for the dollar index today there as well. Next up, we do have the SNP500. SNP500, similar price action to the Dow Jones on the monthly time frame. As you can see, we have that same price action over there. The weekly time frame, also that same similar price action over there. So we're going to approach the situation as well. We can see the S&P 500 on the other hand had started this move to the downside already. And if you take your Fibonacci from the low to the high of this impulse, you can see how the market is currently also testing a previous level of resistance that is now acting as support. What I would do is I would just monitor this level in the market here firstly, because we have three different we've got multiple structures here. We've got that level there, we got this level here, and we got that level over there, but based off the Dow Jones's technical analysis, we're expecting a deeper retracement up until here before any continuation. Again, we'll monitor price action once we get there, and then I'll give you guys an update once I've got the fundamental data for the dollar index there as well. The dollar index builded positive building permit data today, and that's why we saw the index took off, break below previous support that was resistance, and then broke above resistance, and it's now acting once again as support. But that is a breakdown for another day. Now, that's all from my side. Thank you for your time, and as always, cheers for years.